Konnichiwa, Zerohaibo Satoimasu, Yokoso. Welcome to the CDL Podcast. Now, this one's, I'm going to try and make podcasts from here on out be a little bit smaller than the first one, because the first one ended up being over 28 minutes, so I'm going to try and make things short and sweet. I'm going to go through the results of each day and give my thoughts on each day at the end of each recap. So let's start off. This is going to be a rundown of CDL Minneapolis and CDL Paris. Starting off, we had the LA Gorillas hold off the Toronto Ultra 3-2. The Atlanta FaZe holding off the Seattle Surge 3-2. Florida Mutineers doing the same to the Chicago Huntsmen 3-2. Dallas Empire handling business against the Minnesota ROKKR 3-1. Now, my first impressions of day one was the Mutineers. The Mutineers coming out in full force. They were a team on a mission that day, and they had a pretty tough task ahead of them with the lineup, the likes of Scump, Aristides Pristini, Envoy, but especially with the Wonder Twins on the Chicago and Aristides and Pristini. It was going to make things a little bit tough for the Mutineers, and it was kind of tough for the Mutineers, but they managed to get the victory 3-2. Another big surprise was the LA Gorillas getting a win over the Toronto Ultra. Now, that shouldn't really be a big surprise, but it still in a way kind of was, because LA Gorillas had been struggling here late. Alright, moving on to day 2, which was Saturday, June 13th. We had the Mutineers shellacking the Gorillas 3-1. Atlanta FaZe having a Donnybrook with the Dallas Empire 3-2. Chicago Huntsmen eliminating Toronto Ultra 3-0. Then Seattle Surge will eliminate the home series team, Minnesota ROKKR, from the series 3-2. LA Gorillas would then shock the world and eliminate the Chicago Huntsmen 3-2. Dallas Empire shutting out Seattle Surge to eliminate them. Okay, let's start off. Biggest surprise, LA Gorillas managing to eliminate Scump and the Chicago Huntsmen. That was downright shocking. I will admit that was pretty shocking. I was actually expecting Chicago to win that one. I actually had them winning 3-1. But the script got flipped and ended up being 3-2. After that, we had my second point for day 2 had to be the Donnybrook between Atlanta FaZe and Dallas Empire. These are two teams that are going to take it down the wire every time they meet. Because on one side, you got Priesta, Simp, and Abeezy. On the other side, you got Clayster, Hugh, and Crimsix. So it's going to be a Donnybrook every time they get together. Moving on to CDL Sunday in Minnesota, and that was Sunday, June 14th. We had the Atlanta FaZe eliminating the LA Gorillas in a highly contested battle, 3-2. And the Florida Mutineers eliminating the Dallas Empire 3-2. And then we saw the grand final, Atlanta FaZe versus Florida Mutineers. And this one went down to the wire, folks. At first, but Florida Mutineers, once they got on fire, they stayed on fire. They took the grand final 3-1 to be your CDL Minnesota Home Series champions. So my 2 points from that CDL Sunday in Minnesota, Florida Mutineers definitely showed that they are a team to be reckoned with. But so did Atlanta FaZe. They definitely showed that they are near the top of the board for a reason. Friday, June 19th, starting off, we had the Mutineers shutting out Paris Legion. Paris Legion just continuing to struggle. Dallas Empire taking over the London Royal Ravens 3-2. New York Subliners, after going down 1 to Optic Gaming Los Angeles, come back with 3 straight wins to make it a 3-1 win over OGLA. Very unfortunate because, as you guys can tell, I'm an Optic Gaming fan for many years. Next we have Atlanta FaZe versus Toronto Ultra. And this was back and forth, folks. This was a dirty battle. This was gritty. This was nasty. But Atlanta managed to pull it out with the reverse sweep, I believe. I believe they were actually down 2-0 and in danger of actually being beaten by Toronto Ultra. But they managed to complete a reverse sweep. So, out of that Friday, 2 points. First of all, Toronto Ultra has been getting stronger. They have been strangely getting stronger. And 2, Florida Mutineers picking back up where they left off. Saturday, June 20th, we would see the Atlanta FaZe take on the New York Subliners in a gritty battle. But Atlanta FaZe takes down the Subliners 3-2. Mutineers handle their business against the Dallas Empire 3-1. In shocking fashion, Toronto Ultra sweeping OGLA 3-0, eliminating them. London Royal Ravens eliminating Paris Legion 3-1. New York Subliners eliminating Toronto 3-1. And Dallas Empire sweeping London out of the tournament 3-0. 2 points from day 2. Starting off, what a collapse by... This is going to be 2 points in general. First off, what a collapse by the London Royal Ravens. This team was doing really good. Optic, on the other hand, I don't know what happened with them. Was their mind elsewhere? Or... I know Chino actually put up a tweet not long after, but just the day after the event, saying that he feels that he might have a kidney stone, which explains why his performance may have not been up to par, because, well, I'm pretty sure the poor guy was in pain. So that could have been a precursor to just a not so great showing by OGLA. But OGLA actually gets the next event off, and they will actually be able to use this upcoming time to kind of work on themselves. Moving on to CDL Sunday, we saw the Florida Mutineers eliminate the New York Subliners 3-2. The Atlanta FaZe eliminate the Dallas Empire 3-2 as well. And once again, we had the Mutineers and the FaZe in a grand final in an event. And the same old story as the Mutineers get the back-to-back 3-0 this time over a dominant Atlanta FaZe team. Now to gauge my thoughts on both events. My thoughts on both events. First of all, CDL Minnesota had to be postponed because of everything that had been going on, especially in the Minneapolis area. So they decided to postpone it for a day, or not a day, but for a week, and pick it up. The Paris home series, oh man, it was a good one for It was a great one for teams like the Florida Mutineers, but not so good for teams like Paris Legion and Optic Gaming Los Angeles. OGLA was just not on point this series. It was a 3-0 sweep by Toronto Ultra, starting off with a 56 kill, 250-49 win on Hackney Yard Hardpoint. And Hackney Yard Hardpoint's one of their best ones. That's one of their best maps at Hardpoint. So you could definitely tell something wasn't right there. That was the beginnings of something not so great happening with OGLA, and I hope they get it fixed by their next the next competition that they will be competing in. But after that embarrassing hardpoint, followed with a 6-3 loss on Ramaza, which is another great map for them, especially when it comes to hardpoint and S&D. That's one of their best maps. And then Gunrunner, a 165-150 loss in Gunrunner domination. This is definitely a bad look for OGLA, and I really hope they fix whatever problems they have before the next event, because this was just crazy. This was absolutely crazy. Anyway, that is going to do it for this CDL podcast. I am glad that you could join me for it, and I hope you join me for the next one that will be discussing what all went down at CDL New York. Until then, thank you for watching. Peace, love, and happiness to each and every single one of you. Be kind to each and be kind to each other, please. I mean, I know that's a hard ask, but please be kind to one another. And I will see all of you next time. Until then, sayonara, matane, surai busa.